Hey, yo, welcome back to another episode of Boy. I guess it's not
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. But Jason,
I'm sorry I just interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I don't know how to host anyway. My first time doing it in English.
Dude, shut the fuck up,
I don't
man.
know how to. No,
stop
why
lying to. Where's my camera? Stop lying to your fans, man.
Do you have to be like every time I say a statement, you're like, shut the fuck. That's bullshit. You're like opposing every single one of
I know that's true.
my takes on the world.
I'm sorry. Go. Say.
Wait, I think I'm a lousy host. You have a problem with that?
Yes, that's
Why?
bullshit. You
No.
host like you brought the Tonight Show in Taiwan, and that's like the ultimate hosting.
The first season is so cringe. I go back and watch it. Like I want to make
you motherfucker
reaction videos to my old like.
Oh, you did do that?
No, I wanted because it's so good. The only thing I find funny is not the jokes. The thing that's funny is how bad I was and still like pull off this confidence.
What do you think you did bad on the thing?
Okay, so the year I started doing the night show was kind of like my first to second year in stand-up. I had no skill set whatsoever.
Oh, it was your first, second year?
Yeah.
Bro,
like you can't, I do not have jokes. I can't go off the cuff. I can't do anything.
I just want to let people know that it's impossible already to do to organize a gathering, a family, but to have a band and to have a space and have like.
But that's not me. That's the producer.
Oh, it is. But you still have to like get the people to, you know what I mean, say the things. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to like. No, I guess approve things. I feel like it's still impossible to get the thing and hosting it.
Our guest today needs like a proper introduction. So Jason Cheny.
Jason Cheny
is the most successful Taiwanese comedian
man. Shut
on
the
this planet.
Fuck up, man.
Yes, you are. And we have been graced by his presence in Taiwan.
That's fucking bullshit, man.
He's come back.
You know, yesterday
I did like 5 smashing shows. And what?
Nobody smashed it.
Can you let me finish?
Okay, man.
Last night I said something like from the bottom of my heart. I do feel like I owe a huge part of my career, especially like my touring in the States, to you, because you are the one of 2 recommendation letters.
Yeah, but you could have gotten.
If it weren't for you, no,
you could have asked another person.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, you could have asked like, you know, like I'm sure you have relatives in.
I don't. No. They need someone like in the industry.
Yeah, I'm very important.
Yeah, you are.
I was a key. So
you're the only reason.
Yeah, can I tell you something? I'm actually so happy that we went out and got really fucked up last night. Bowen got really fucked up last night.
Yeah, I was slurring my words and like keep trying so hard to keep it together.
I am too.
Articulate, yeah.
I feel like every interaction we had, it was like pretty like, just like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why like I was like, oh, I like to connect with people deeply because. I think that makes me, I like to feel something. That's not everybody. I know usually people, you know, they do the small talk and then they go deep, you know? But then I love to just jump into the deep end because it's like, I know 5-7 minutes or whatever is fine. But then, I never felt that with you.
Yeah.
And, or whenever I make friends, I always love doing that so that get to know the person really.
Yeah.
And, I think yesterday was nice to do that.
Last night.
It makes me feel a little more comfortable. Yeah, and I
really appreciate it. Like last night, I felt like you were super, super honest and vulnerable at sometimes.
I want to.
Yeah. And then I told you immediately, like, I appreciate that so much. Like, I live for these moments because these are the conversations that like I feel like everyone is striving to get. You know, like when you chat, like bullshitting and stuff is fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, but
really
like
fun.
Apart from that, sometimes you also want to have like meaningful conversations. But okay, on that note, I did save 2 questions for you last night.
You
I told you like
excited.
I'm gonna hit you so hard with
not true,
these
man.
2 questions. Yes, because
come on, bro.
Your 1.5 week of being here, I've been observing you, Jason.
You've been observing me.
Yeah, like a bird. I've been watching.
You're a good observer, though.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. That's my comedy. Observational.
Observational. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
So my first question is: are you lonely? Do you feel lonely? I feel like
hold up,
you
man.
are. I feel like you're very lonely,
dude. First of all, do not fucking gaslight your guest. Okay. Second of all, what kind of shit is that? You know how sometimes people would be like, this is what my friends would do, that they have a proper job. like they're like a doctor or like a lawyer, they'll come and they'll go like, "You're tired, right?"
Yeah.
Like when they start like that, because if you go, "Oh boy, I'm not tired." Yes. I'm not tired. Then they'll be really? Like, "Yeah, but really?" And then you have to go. But then if you're like,
guess, let me find something.
Yeah, let me find. Right. So there's no defense when it comes to that. But this is
all
what
right. No. We can backtrack.
No. I love this, but I know you. I don't give a fuck about that. When people who are acquaintances, when they'll go, "Oh, you're tired, right? Like you're exhausted," and I go, "Yeah, I'm really, like when you have a dream and a passion." Yeah, you want to devote all of your energy into, so you get tired. But that's if you have a dream. But some people just are very well rested because
for instance, like
they don't
people
have a
who
passion.
like to ask these kind of questions. Like, if you had a dream, you would not ask that.
Yeah, ask that question. Yeah.
Let me kind of explain how I came to that question.
Yes, I was going to ask that.
I was going to start this conversation by asking you, like, obviously you came back to Taiwan. You got to see a bunch of like open mics and like meet with the comedians here. Like we talk a lot. I wanted to start with like, what are your impressions of the comedy scene in Taiwan? And like,
that's a good question.
Because you came back, I feel like you really liked the sense of a community, like having people. And I was like,
I love it.
So
I love community.
Don't you have a community in the States?
I do.
Like, yeah.
And I'm so grateful.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because I was really worried. I was like, you don't have like
I do.
camaraderie. I don't know. Yeah.
But that took me like such a long time to find like the group of people who I love. Yeah, the sense of community in the beginning, you go into any new city, it's hard to like find, because I feel like a lot of cities you go, it's kind of like high school, like there's cliques and stuff. But I've been doing it so long, and the people who have doing it just as long or like longer or maybe a show, but you know who's like very passionate and like who's very serious about the craft, and also at the same time what their intention is, and if they're like more fake, like there's a saying like, don't just expect the snake to be a snake, like there's so many different, and then not that they're bad, it's just that maybe they value like the industry and a little bit more than friendship, and but you sift through it and you find like a group of people that you like, and I'm really grateful for that. And I love comedians because you have something, it's like any industry, you have something already. So when I came to Taiwan, or Taipei, I wanted to, because I'm Taiwanese too, a surprise. And so I also wanted, surprise. And I also wanted to find that.
I guess I have more questions. So how long did it take for you to find like comedians that kind of had the same vision or that you vibe with?
Until like, there's like some 2 or 3 core people who I started with like 10, 11 years ago. Those are like longtime friends, and we got each other's backs. I one of the guys that I got a matching tattoo with recently, but the people who I love right now, I would say like probably like pandemic. I think pandemic brought a lot of people together, and you kind of find like who really cares, and like after that. So I maybe like 6, 7, and I also moved. I was in San Diego, and I moved to LA like 7 years ago. And anytime it's so competitive, and then it's really cliquey in the beginning, but you find your friends slowly.
I feel like the comedy scene here right now, we don't really have those like little groups. Right now, the community is so small that everyone is just this really small group,
really small room,
and we're pretty tight. But I do think that in the past, I would say 1 or 2 years, it's grown to the point where we're starting to see smaller groups. So what I'm observing is like there are comedians that are trying to find people that view comedy the same way as they do, and then they form these little groups. But it's just starting. It's just starting.
It's so good to see. And like yesterday, Sam was we were noticing like people dress up nicely.
Really?
For the shows, yeah.
For the show?
Yeah, for your show.
That's what I was...
You did open mic. Yeah. And I love it. Because it's like, yeah.
Okay, I didn't notice, because my impression was kind of the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like when I was touring in the States, I would like vividly see like people dress up and to come to these shows. But when we do shows in like in Taipei, wherever, like the arena, I don't think people really dress up.
Oh, The crowd. No,
Yeah.
I was talking about the comedians.
Performers. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the performers.
Oh,
they
yeah.
dress up. They look nice.
I know.
And go ahead.
I think he was talking about. Was he talking about Jason Huang?
Jason Huang, but
He
there's
probably
another
just
guy with the bucket hat. And
Wasn't that me? I was wearing a bucket hat.
No, you wasn't wearing a bucket. No, there's
Who
another
else
guy
was wearing a
who
bucket hat?
it's like he had a black bucket hat. I forgot it. I don't know his name.
The guy that went on after you. He's like.
Oh yeah,
he's an engineer at Microsoft.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He's super smart.
Very smart. Yeah.
And he's like, apparently writing code is too easy. So like now he devotes his time to writing jokes, which are much more difficult.
But I heard he's doing great.
He's
like
really good.
Yeah. Because I was trying to equate to like the comedy scene here is like the golden ages of like the boom of comedy, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what your impression is, but because it's grown so much since the last time I've been here, and obviously you did arena show twice or 3 times.
No,
yeah,
2 times.
Yeah, 2 times. Yeah, so it's like that's so crazy, and I think we were talking about this too. Like the style of comedy is, who do you think would grow faster and be a better comedian? Would they be better in New York and LA, or would they be in a city where the competition isn't as fierce? And I think there is space for people to grow and have an original voice. Even though I heard that a lot of people try to emulate you, like in their style, and which
Who said that?
Who said that? I forget. But it makes sense.
Yeah,
like with people.
So I kind of wanted to pick your brain on this. So like whenever I see shows in the U.S., like at open mics or like comedy clubs and stuff, I often feel like, oh, this performer is kind of reminiscent of like a comedy superstar that I know. Like, oh, this is like a smaller version of Mark Norman, or
Mark Norman or Bill Burr.
Yeah, like everyone.
It's so obvious.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
I do feel that. So okay, so it's not just me.
No.
And so it feels like people are filling themselves into these pre-existing templates.
Yes. But
So
I did that too.
You did that?
Yeah, like most comedians do that. There's like obviously groups of a small percentage of people who don't do that, but I think that most people go through it, and you see exactly, like I talked like Kevin Hart for the longest time.
Oh, okay.
When I first started, and then I talked like Sebastian Maniscalco. I had a Italian accent.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed sometimes that like that's not.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's a southern.
Oh yeah, it's the
southern thing.
Where did that come from?
You know, I think that's just a goofy thing that I like to do, because I think having an Asian face and have a slight accent, and then also I didn't even think about, oh, should I do the southern accent?
It came out naturally.
It just came out naturally,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that's fun to do.
Yeah.
This is another thing. Like sometimes people will go, oh, why do you do an urban accent? Or why did you do like a southern accent, like urban black accent? I would say. And
what are you insinuating?
And
Like, what?
the blacks. Yeah. And also, it's obvious because I admired the culture so much in the beginning. Because I went to the States when I was 14, and then my first roommate was black, and I used to watch Rush Hour every day, and that's where I got it.
Yeah.
And then my friend who is from the East Coast.
Yeah.
I hung out with him every day in high school for like 1.5 years. We sold drugs. And I admire him too because he was so funny. And then I'll catch some of the accents he have.
Yeah.
And then I mixed it. And then I lived in San Diego. So I have some friends who are beach. Yeah, Mexican too. And so I think it's like culmination of all the accents. And when it comes out, people go, oh, why do you have that? It's like, bro, it's called fucking evolution, and it's called, you know.
Yeah, you get influenced by the people you're surrounded by. I absolutely get that, because like I came back to Taiwan when I was 8 years old, and the only reason that I kind of still like speak English is because I watch TV series, and in every, or like I like to watch YouTubers like in the States. At every different phase, I feel like my English turns into like for example in junior high school, I love to watch Dexter.
Oh, Dexter's great.
Yeah, and then like I would like, Dexter's so cool.
Dude, you
like,
are Dexter, man.
I dress purposefully like Dexter. Yeah. And anyway, so growing up, I started like I got really into Pokemon, and like the YouTubers I watch were all like also black, and then I started like talking like that. So I don't sound like I'm from Boston at all.
Oh, that's right.
I grew up in Cambridge,
right.
Massachusetts. I don't sound like that.
Yeah. You just emulate or like get influenced by the people, who
you
you
admire. I get that. Yeah, I feel like in Taipei that phenomena does not exist yet. So every single performer actually has their own voice.
I know. Yeah. When I watch them, that's all I was gonna get to. Like people have their own voice, and then I will go, "Oh, that's so cool that they do it. Their style is so different." Why do you think that is?
Because stand-up is really like in its baby phase. It's probably like between 10 to 15 years. Like how many years have you done stand-up?
11.
11?
It's my 11th, yeah.
Yeah. When you just started was also when the first batch of people started doing stand-up in Taiwan.
Right.
So before 11, 12 years, it didn't exist. So like we didn't have role models to learn after. The things that we kind of mimic are other people, like people from variety shows or like people from crosstalk,
right?
And or even like from Japanese TV shows, and then we try to translate like between art forms, and then it comes into stand up, so it appears as new because you've never seen anyone do stand up like this before, but it's actually from somewhere else. Because I feel like a lot of people when they do stand up in Taiwan, they're actually just merging, mancai, like Japanese crosstalk.
Okay,
so
yes.
Yeah, so there's like a straight guy and a stupid
and a crazy one.
Yeah, a crazy one. They kind of just merged those two people into one. So one guy is telling a story, and then he suddenly changes a voice into a commentator.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah.
Wow. And you think that's the most popular style in
I think it's pretty popular.
I'm excited to see what
it evolves into.
Yeah,
like,
it evolves
after
into.
5 to,
like
I kind of see it growing into like what America is like right now. So after 5-10 years, we will have people that succeeded with a certain way of performing, and then new comics will start imitating it. Yeah.
Do you know what's so crazy is that I think because stand-up has been such a long thing already in America, that people are doing crazy shit. Now, like, they're bringing the mancai. Literally, my friend just threw a show where 2 comics is on stage. And usually that's never. Because it's like, just do... It's supposed to be... Not supposed to, but like, the stand-up is just one person. You know?
But isn't that kind of like what like Dave Attell and Jeff Ross are doing, bumping mics?
Yes, exactly. But that used to never... be, and there's so little, that because you know how like people shit on Carrot Top because he does props or whatever, but now I think people are more accepting of like prop if your like style is so crazy. I think because I think most of the Taiwanese like stand up now is pretty traditional, but then I'll send you some clips of like comics who their style is so like there's this guy he does one-liners, but his style is so weird. He would do squats in the middle of his set, like just a quick squat, and then he'll run around. His name is Casey Rocket, and he does the Kill Tony show. And then he would have Parmesan cheese in his pocket. He will have 5 of them, in little packets. And then he will say a joke. Out of nowhere, he'll throw the packets and go, Parmesan. Like, just like crazy shit. People are like they're like, oh, there's so many traditional, what can I do different? They just start doing crazier shit. And I wonder, like, what is the, crazy thing that like people would do in Taiwan? Like,
it kind of reminds me of like, also in Japanese crosstalk, I think for a certain era, their meta was called like ibi wakanai. It means like 意味不明. So it's not understandable.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got ADHD real quick.
Yeah.
And the answer is yes, I'm lonely.
Okay. I'm sorry.
The answer is yes, I'm lonely, man.
Don't be lonely, man. We all got your back. We love you, Jason.
No, it's never enough. It's never enough. No, of course I'm lonely, man. That's what I'm fucking doing stand-up comedy, bro. If I was not lonely, why the fuck would I need validation from people, man? Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
where did that come from?
Yeah, where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
So, what is it lonely to?
No, because like
the community. Yeah.
I don't know how many like Taiwanese comics there are in the States, and like if they're at about the same, because don't you feel like your comedic career kind of like you go through different stages? Like I would say before year 10, I don't know, or like between year 5 and year 10, you're experiencing like different obstacles or different like struggles that younger comics would not relate to. Like especially, I think this year I started touring with Helong, right? Yeah. So finally, I have another person who understands like the struggles you have to go through when you're changing cities and stuff. Right. This is something that we have never encountered before. Like when we're doing shows in like Taipei, Taichung, Kaohsiung, there's not a huge difference. There's not the thing that
Bro, let me tell you something. You don't know shit, man.
I know I don't. And no,
I'm just kidding. Dude, you're the best. But also, you don't know shit, man.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
You don't know the struggles that I have to go through, man.
Yeah, I don't. So that's what.
Yeah, I don't. Fuck you, man.
Please tell us, Jason.
Fuck you, man.
How?
You just over here doing arenas. I'm so upset with you. No, I'm kidding. Dude, it was the most lonely thing that I've ever. I mean, I'm really grateful that I'm in a position that I could do stand-up comedy in America. And I'm really lucky for my parents to immigrate me there. Yeah. Very, very grateful for everything. But also, it's okay to complain. It's so lonely because it's like, bro, you have no friends and you make no money. You have to sell merch and then you drive. Bro, this was my schedule. Like, this is the regular touring schedule if you can't sell tickets. You do like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you fly somewhere, but it's the cheapest flight. Yeah. So you do 2 layovers and then you're stressed out because you can fuck up. I started doing colleges 2 years in and you have to do an hour. And I don't have an hour. And so most of the time you perform in cafeterias. I perform at this place. I remember it's literally in the quad of the school, which is like the cafeterias right there. Yeah. No, it's indoors. Okay. And then there's couches. People are going to class. And this guy just sets up 2 speakers and go, oh, you could go. He's hiding behind a pillar, like watching me. And I'm talking to fucking nobody. Yeah. And there's kids who are sitting on the couch laughing at me because I wasn't even. But that's like 8 out of 10 gigs is like that. And 2 gigs will be like at a theater, like the students will come. And those are hard too because the biggest show that I've ever done 2 years in, which is it's very rare. I did a 2,000 seater of like coming back to school night and with parents and the kids. And then the host is like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to do about 8 minutes. I'm going to get the information and then I'll bring you up, okay? I was like, all right, thank you. And then he goes up, he does the intro halfway and then starts just going, okay, you're a performer, Jason. And then I had to fucking do it. I still have the tape. I bombed for an hour.
Oh my God.
In front of 2,000 people. But it's so lonely. So the schedule will be like this. Tuesday, you go to one city and then the next day, you get up in the morning and you drive like 4 hours to another city that is like bumfuck nowhere, like Wichita, Kansas, and then like the next day you drive. But then you drive 3-4 hours, right? And then you go to the gas station, eat some things in the gas station, and then you check in at the motel or hotel where there's cockroaches and bums and stuff, and then you go do the show. Bro, this one time there's no cell phone service at this school, and then it's a senior living home where there's nobody. It's just me, and it smells like old people. And then it's like a prison kind of. And then I just go, fuck it, I'm just going to sleep in the car. I sleep in the car. On the weekend, hopefully you do a cruise. And then the cruise would be like, you fly. You don't go on the port of like, sometimes you do, like Florida or LA. You fly to Mexico because usually cruise, there's 2 comedians, right? And then the port will stop in Mexico and they'll have new comedians. And that's when you fly into Mexico. And the crew cabin, where performers stayed in, it's like under 是在零, so it's not, it's like
the below guest, like water.
It's under the boat where like the crew stays on the cruise ship, and literally the room is like 2 square foot. It like everybody knows, and there's no light.
Prison.
Bro, I cried this one night.
Why like not only do like club showcases?
I couldn't because it's so competitive. So usually to make a little bit of money, you feature for a headliner. So you do 25 minutes before the headliner at clubs, right? You kind of like the opener. There's a host, you do 25. And it's hard to get that spot already because everybody wants to do that spot.
Yeah.
That doesn't pay as well as you get paid maybe $600 and then you sell merch for the whole weekend. They put you up in some motel and you get paid $600. So the colleges would pay maybe $1,500 to $2,500, and then cruise ships a week you get paid $3,500, and then so that is the most money that you can make from the thing.
Got it.
But it's so lonely.
Yeah.
Alone, and then no friends. No, nobody. And then you don't want to be on a cruise or because the college, you do the show and that's it. Nobody talks to you. They may say hi or whatever. You go. So now I'm really grateful in the position that I get to bring my friends with me. And that's the fucking dream to do that. But then I still have, bigger goals. But I'm still lonely in terms of like.
So, but now, now that you can sell shows, you don't have to do those like university cruise ships anymore. Right?
Bro, let me tell you something. I will book them. And then cancel them.
Oh,
just in case.
Such a dick move. Why? Would
no. I will book
because what are just they in do? Case. Be like they have a vacant hour. Like okay, so we're supposed to have this stand-up show. But
no. I'll cancel like 4 months ahead just to make sure. Yeah, but I did do that, and so thankfully I don't have to do that. Yeah, now and then that's why I try to work as hard as I can to continue doing.
Okay, so like after going through all of that, would you suggest us to actually? Because I heard previous interviews like you would go to the mall because like if you couldn't get on an open mic, you would use like pedestrians to practice. Would you suggest us doing that? I
don't know. I think it's just nobody really did that. Like to go to the mall, I was really desperate, and even though I was really lonely, I would take that over anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like I would take being lonely on the road, anxious flight, feeling like a dead guy over like working at Walmart because to me that's still just a bit better.
Yeah, I get. Okay, so I think the comedians in Taiwan like they would rather just get a day job. And do people also do that? Like work a day job?
100%. Okay. Yeah, I think we were talking about people serve. So because when you serve tables, that's the most flexible.
Yeah,
the schedule is the most flexible, so you could go. Oh, can you cover my shift? I'm gonna go do whatever thing. Suggest comedians do that. I don't suggest any comedians, but also I think the shows are nice. Like they're good shows in Taiwan, Comedy Plus 2-3, and then like the bar shows. I feel like that's good, but I think a lot of open mics in New York or in LA, they're like, you've seen it. It's just like 3 comedians and chairs.
Yeah, comedians are more than audience members.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, did I tell you that one time I drove from LA to San Diego? I went to a bar and it was an open mic. And when I got there, a comedian was leaving. So me and another comedian went to that bar for an open mic, and it was just me and her. I have a picture that is just me in a bar talking to chairs. It was crazy, but
that's the best. That's very
painful. Yeah. But that's what keeps me going. And lonely. Is that what you were saying about touring with Helong? That is like you feel less lonely because you have a friend?
I would say a lot. Like the feeling of like lonesome, and for certain time periods, I would find like comedians that I kind of think that they understand like what I'm going through, but then sometimes they still don't get it. So I feel like that's kind of why like this time you came back, I was kind of like clingy. I don't know. I was asking like a lot of questions.
Clingy. Yeah, I think I was hitting you up.
We were both. Because I felt like, oh, this is a guy like
you said no.
He must know my struggles and stuff. Because kind of brings me to the next question I want to ask. Okay, so my next question is also like very gaslighty and very similar to the first one. Okay. Is like, are you happy and do you like your work? Because like
I want to hear yours first because
I despise myself. This is always I hate what I'm doing on stage. I would not be a fan of myself.
Oh, I told you that. Me too.
Yeah.
I fucking think about that. I go, fuck.
Why isn't this message like? Why don't comedians talk about this more often?
I never even thought. I never heard people said that until with you, and I think about that sometimes.
Okay, so
I wouldn't fucking watch myself.
I have so many like sub questions to this question.
Okay, but why? Oh yeah. Why do you? What do you not like about what you do? And I'll tell you mine.
a big theme that kept on like a recurring theme between me and you this week was like, should you pander?
Right.
Should you change what you think is the correct way of delivery, or like what represents your sense of humor according to different audiences in different cities?
Yeah.
And I guess like everyone has their own line. So there's a line I will not cross. I will not budge. But so when I was opening for you, and like I'm super grateful opening for you, I had really mixed feelings, like super mixed feelings. First of all, like when I do something, I want to do it right. You know, so like when you asked me to open for you, I was like, I can't do it right for you, and I felt so bad about myself because I haven't done this in 5 years. I haven't done English assignments in 5 years. But anyway, just shut up. Let me finish.
Anyway,
you interrupt too much.
Okay, sorry. I know.
No, it's fine. But like when I was on stage and I was doing it, like one of the feelings was like, fuck, I really wanted to do this right, but I can't because like ability wise, I'm not capable enough. And the second feeling was like, okay, let me finish.
No, hold on. I want to hear the second one, but the first one, I have so many questions already. Why do you feel like you have to do it right?
Because,
what's right?
First of all, it was a 700-seater. Like you don't want to bomb against.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That you respect it.
And I don't want to fuck up your show, even though that's kind of.
I know, but you're not gonna fuck up my show when you're like the biggest comic.
Yes, I
the
will.
people know you, so it's like
I will. Okay, so
and then obviously, I'm like, come do whatever you want.
I know.
So because it's like, who gives a fuck?
It's more of a me
it's a
thing.
you thing. Yeah, but why do you want to do it good? You're not gonna fucking bomb.
I will. I'm constantly in danger of bombing.
I know.
Like
I know.
8 years doing this, I still don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I basically I quickly translated some bits that I'm like currently doing in Mandarin into English.
Okay.
But the thing that I always have is I know the same kind of delivery won't work in English. Like
I see.
Delivery I do in Mandarin will not work. It will be like 大人场.
Oh, you think?
Absolutely, 100%.
Wow.
So like when I was doing English, I used a delivery that I felt was more suitable for doing stand-up in English.
Oh, great.
And it actually worked.
Yeah.
And I felt so sad. I felt really, really sad.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, because like on the one hand, doing stand-up in English is much closer to my real self and what I find funny. So like probably I would be a fan of myself doing stand-up in English. Probably. I'm not sure. Probably I go back to a couple of Monday open mics and I feel depressed again. But okay.
Yeah. Do you think
I know.
Do you think that you actually felt or a little sad or depressed because you don't get to do that? Or do you think that's closer to yourself? Do you think it's just like, oh, I don't get to do
It's both. It's both.
Okay, because
I want to be like close to myself when I'm on stage, but I don't get to be myself, or else the crowd's not going to give me any kind of response.
Do you actually think that you feel closer because you didn't do English long enough to know that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Because when I did Mandarin, whatever the small amount that I did on the show, I go, oh, this is like really fun. Because this is another part of me that is like, oh, like I get to this is fun too, and I don't get to fucking do that.
Yeah. I think there's absolutely that as well.
Yeah, so
there's
I don't
probably
know
just
how
like that one experience that went well, and I'm like, oh, I should have been doing this.
Yeah, so maybe it's that
forever. Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe it's not because
we
like
redo this podcast like 2 weeks later. I'm like, fuck English. Who wants to? You pander in English as well.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I talking about?
No.
Yeah.
So you said the pandering thing. Yeah, the line and then what was the thing?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I feel like for the past 5 years I've been pandering, like big time.
Because you run a company and then you do other things and you have a family, so it's like really hard. You spend 20% or 30% of your time to do stand up, and that's like impossible.
I didn't say that.
You said that.
I said like probably 5% of my time. Like I spend 95% of my time doing stuff that I'm not good at, like managing.
Yeah,
and like I don't know,
accounting.
And I spent 5% of my time on stand up.
But that's really impressive
it's
to
sad.
do. To do the thing.
It's just sad. It's not.
No, it's
impressive.
great.
It's
You're
sad.
fucking crushing, man.
Okay, so okay, my sub questions
Yeah.
are, and I don't think I've actually asked you this, but I think the clips that went viral in Taiwan, your clips that went viral in Taiwan are like crowd work clips on like cross-strait relationships, like really political and stuff. From the Tuesday performance, the hour that I heard, like that's not your main thing. And like, how do you feel if you know the audience like came to see that?
You know, I think people who I like have some sort of following on social, it's all from one clip.
Yeah.
So whichever clip you see, like, and then you're like, oh, I want to see this guy because he does this. And I think people will come. Taiwanese people, most of them came from that. But in America, when I tour, it's the same thing. Most people come from one clip. Or like some people come from the podcast. Just Kidding News is a great podcast. It doesn't, and people will come, but then when they see me, I feel like maybe, I don't know the percentage, but I think a lot of them are like, oh, that's not what I expected. But the people who see me do the thing and they go, yes. But I think that's the core group that would like me, you know, that likes what I do. So yeah, I think when you ask me, oh, how do you feel about like one clip? You know, the Haktua girl, like right now, like the girl do you know about the clip? It's huge right now. She's like the most famous person right now in America because it was a street interview.
Oh yeah.
And the guy was asking her like, hey, how do you like please a man? Yeah. And then she's this like cute, like pure girl. She's like, you just gotta go Haktua and spit on that thing. You know what I mean? And like, you know, she's known for that thing. But she's like a whole person. Yeah, she has a life, you know what I mean, a journey. So it's like, I don't know. Like people come and I'm like, if you don't like it, then I'm sorry, you know? Like, but I don't want to just do an hour of a fucking thing. Yeah. And because that's not who I am. And then, most shows I do, I think, is that. But there will be cities where it's like, oh man, you did go through most of my stuff and you like what I do. Yeah. And that's the best. Like, I think we talk about that. We agreed that 2 out of 10 shows are like what's so good about doing stand-up. And 8 of them is just like, this is so much work.
It's just getting through the, like, let's just get through the hour. Let's get this done with.
And sometimes I feel like I'm not Taiwanese enough, you know, like the same thing. And sometimes I feel like I'm not American enough. But yeah, I just trying to be me, and then hopefully I could be vulnerable enough. I try to be, but I don't think I'm there yet. And that's my whole thing, is I just want to say my things. Yeah. Because that's why I started comedy anyways, is I just feel, dude, I bombed so hard the first set that I've ever done stand-up, but I loved it. Because I don't know if I told you this, but the reason why I started doing stand-up is because I wanted to kill myself.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, what are 3 things
you want to do before you die?
Yeah. And one of them is stand-up, one of them is whitewater rafting, and one of them it's getting a motorcycle's license and ride across the country. And I got my motorcycle's written test, and then between getting the written test and the road school, I did stand up, and I haven't done the rest of them. I just kept doing stand up. I bombed, but like,
that's nice. Like next time the death thoughts come around, you're like, motorcycle, let's go back.
Yeah.
Still have 2 things.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have 2 more things.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's what I started. Sometimes I forget to like why I started stand up. You know, it's really because I just want to express myself.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, though, sorry, I'm rambling, but in the beginning, I chased laughs. So it doesn't, I did whatever for like, I think 3 years, because I just want to be the best on the lineup. I want to be the funniest. But you know what, though? Like,
I think as you should, right? Because like,
as you should.
Yeah, you should go for, I think you should go for laughs first. And then once you have like a following, then like, first of all, that's when your skill set has more like matured, and you can actually use your skill set to express things you actually want to say, and like you're actually more clear about what you want to say about the world, so I think that's actually the best way to progress is to get the last verse. Get pander first, and then once you're following, you're like, this is what I really want to say.
That's actually a really good observation that you said that. Yeah, that's a good progression of the thing. I never really thought about it like that. It make me really sad if I do everything I could, that the things that I don't even believe
and then
in,
you still
and then you bomb. Bro, that shit crushed me. Because I'm like, I go home and I had nothing. But it still hurts though. Like, I don't know when you're rapping, but it still hurts to sometimes, because I went through this. It's an arc. It's like, I'm like, okay, then now say the things that you want then. Because if you say the things you want, you bombed, then at least you said the things you want. But then I also check myself because I'm like, then kill then. Then kill. Like, you want to say the things you want, but then kill. Don't give yourself the excuse like,
I was just saying what I
just say what I want to say.
Yeah. Go to fucking TED Talk.
Yeah, good.
Why do you do stand up?
Yeah. So right now, I always ask, like, I make sure that my friends check me on this. I'm like, dude, make sure I'm not doing a TED Talk.
That's what you need, man. You need like honest friends that are gonna check. Yeah, like after I did like this tour and the arena show and stuff, I brought like a couple of friends and I was like, give me honest critique. Yeah. Like, I want to hear what I did. Like be ruthless.
Dude, but if you're getting, who the fuck did you get to fucking say your things? Because if it's somebody who's working for you.
No, it's my my best man. Like, my buddy.
Okay.
He's been my buddy from like high school.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, to be honest, like those two parts.
But also, that's also subjective. Yeah, unless he gives you a.
But I value like his opinion.
Oh, I see.
It reminds me of something like last night we were talking about kind of how we want other comedians' validation more than we want like validation from the crowd. Right. There's something I've been meaning to tell you. Like, I love the way you lay things out. It's laid out so beautifully. What do you mean? So, for instance, like this year, you're talking about there's like a big premise is like intentions matter, and then it's like example. Yeah. It was to me it was like elegantly and methodically like laid out. I found it very beautiful. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice.
And even last year, like I remember seeing your show in Vegas, the Cellar in Vegas, and that time you were talking about it's all about perspective, and then you had like example, and I was like, wow, this is so good because you kind of guide people through the like persuading process of like it's all about perspective because of this, but if you think of this, then there's another example and stuff, and I just found that like
that's really
amazing.
Nice of you. Oh, thanks, brother. That's really nice.
Really well crafted. I like look up to that. Like every since I've like every time I see your shows, I'm like,
oh, thanks, man. That's really nice of you. I really that's a huge I don't know how to take it, but and most of the things that I say also is just because I really want to remind myself that that's the biggest thing because I was really sad and sometimes I still get sad, but I want to keep on reminding myself that it's just perspective, you know?
Yeah. Don't you feel like comedians are the only profession where like the more you do it, the more you hate yourself or something? I don't know. It's probably just because I hate my work. Let me tell you a story. Okay. So like I'm friends with some rappers and then like there's this rapper, once he finished his album, he was like, you want to come to my house and like listen to my new album? I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I thought it was like just a lousy excuse to invite someone to your house. Okay. And we're like, oh yeah, sure, let's do that. And like this guy, oh my God, like he hasn't made like he just recorded the album, no musical video, like no visuals whatsoever. He sat me down in front of his computer and played his hour. Like played
Dude, you watched the whole shit?
I listened. I didn't have anything to watch, you know? I was listening to his album with no lyrics. He was like, he was digging his own shit. He was like, yeah. And when like a punchline came, he was like, this right here. And then he was like, bam, there we go. And I just be sitting there. I'm like, yeah, nice. I didn't know how to, but to me that was so eye-opening because I'm not proud of my work like that, you know? I want to be proud of my work like that.
Yeah, me too.
I know, like who does that? Do you like imagine you just finish like a comedy special taping. You sit your friends down, you like, watch my hour. Watch this shit. It's coming. Boom. Punchline right there.
Bro, that is insane to even think about. I want to be
like, don't you want to?
Yeah, to have that much like joy and confidence in like the thing that you make is so cool. But I don't know, that's like the extra level of Delulu that I'm like, we can't be friends. That's crazy that you sat through that. Yeah. Bro, after 5 minutes, I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I felt like kind of like after the 5th or 6th song, I was like, how many more do I have?
Dude, that's so polite of you, man. Yeah, no, I hate my shit. I hate my shit.
I also feel like we're not supposed to say that we don't like our stuff. Your fan base will be like, you don't like your stuff, but I like your
I
stuff.
know.
So do you not
I'm
like
so glad
me?
you brought that up.
So like bringing up this topic itself, I felt like, should I bring it up? Should I not? I don't know. But I also feel like it's real. It's something real that every comedian...
And you're crushing and you're selling out, so it doesn't matter for you.
It doesn't matter, but
yeah,
not at the moment. People will feel hurt. They're like, but
maybe the small percentage of people, if they like something, that's like if they... Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's the real shit, though.
I think the takeaway like message is, although I don't like it, I'm working really hard to make stuff that I like.
At this point, you're just doing your best to make the best thing you can.
Yeah. But last night you said you have 2 bits that you like personally really like.
But it's always that. I think I just like the attention, like being on stage and perform and say maybe the bits that I don't really enjoy doing, I could maybe find moments that I'm like, okay, this is cool to say. Like, I'm fine with saying it. I think we're just really critical of finding the negatives in the bit. And maybe logically, it doesn't make complete sense. Whenever a bit is like, to me, like done or whatever, I look at it and I just go, this sucks because of this, this, and that. And then the new things, I'm like, oh, this is really fun. Yeah, after a while, it rots.
Yeah.
And then...
I kind of feel like, because last night when I heard like, oh, good, that's amazing that you have like 2 bits that you really like, because like whenever I'm asked that question, like what's the favorite joke you've ever written, and I was like, it's so hard, because like if you asked me last year, I probably would have said like a certain bit, but like same question this year, like, do you still like that bit? No way, dude.
But the reason why I like them, it's like there's just one thing. So I do the suicide thing, but the thing that I like is that it's so fucked up to say. And that's why I like it, because I don't have that in my other bits. So I go, oh, this is fun. It's something new. The other bit that I like is because I get to be so angry, because I'm such an angry person inside, and I get to be angry, and I don't have another bit that I get to be very angry. And those are the only parts I like about those bits. But the premise is an easy premise, and it's not like a crazy, there's no crazy things like within those bits. But I just like, this is so deep. I don't know if people like.
No, okay, so first of all, like, because it's in English, I don't know if people like will listen to this episode anyway. Like, I'm just talking about stuff that I'm like genuinely interested.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But I'm just
from like peer.
And sorry if nobody listens to it.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I believe that one day like people will find this piece on the internet and be like, wow, so this conversation happened.
Wow, Jason's working at Walmart now.
Yeah.
That's crazy that he was doing okay.
Yeah. Do you remember the time he was doing comedy? Like, yeah, now he's into biking. Who knows why? In general, like people who listen to my podcast, they appreciate like these like really deep and honest thoughts, I feel like. Because last time I was doing an episode with, do you know Jim? Chen Jinping. When he came on the podcast, he was like, okay, today we're not making jokes. We're not laughing at each other. Because when we talk in private, we're not laughing.
Oh, right.
That's fake.
Right.
Yeah, so that episode people loved.
Oh, love that.
Just because like we were talking the way we do.
Yeah, as
camera.
you should.
Yeah. So for this episode, I'm just gonna talk about stuff that I actually care about.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody listens or cares about the things we're talking about, because the 2 of us care about it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That touched my heart. Should we have sex?
We should. I really want to do like a bilingual tour with you.
That would be awesome.
Like, yeah, because I feel like when I'm talking, especially right now, I'm doing English, but there's this constant urge in my body, like, this term is better when I use Chinese or something. And I feel like a lot of people, especially like, I don't know, like first gen, second gens, they think like that.
Yes.
It's a bilingual mindset, and they appreciate it when the person. So I don't know.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think there's a market for
absolutely
both.
Yeah.
Because you know how there's like TikToks where people say like, oh, you feel differently and you think differently when you speak a different language, and it triggers different emotions. And I think that is a thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when I just want to let you know that my Mandarin set, when we do it together, is going to be way better than your English.
I'm looking for, no. First of all, you're wrong.
Sorry,
you're dead wrong. But I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
I love you, man. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah,
I love you, brother.
I love it.